Yo, 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 what is up, y'all? My name is Rob Donaldson, and welcome back to a new edition of Rob's Best Bets, and we're talking college basketball for here on Tuesday, December 10th. We've got a fantastic slate of games. If you're a fan of mid-major basketball, we've got something for you. If you're a fan of that high-major fun action, on a high scale or a high level, then we have that a little bit there too. But with all that being said, let's go ahead and give a shout out to today's sponsor, Underdog Fantasy. And if you aren't following me over on Twitter already, make sure you're doing so, because we will have a player entry for tomorrow for this awesome slate, and you don't want to miss out on that. And make sure that if you haven't signed up over there yet, use promo code ROBDFB at sign up, and you'll get a pretty sweet deposit match bonus on top of all that there. But with all that being said, y'all, I'm ready to hop into these picks. All right, first up, we are taking a look at a fun mid-major, high-major matchup between North Dakota State and Butler. Obviously, NDSU is out of the Summit League, and Butler is part of the Big East. And if you know me and you follow my bets over the last 3-4 years, you know that I'm a big Dave Richmond guy. I love this program. I love how good he is as a head coach, and I think he's got a great squad this year. We're getting 13 points in this game. It is in Hinkle Fieldhouse, but at the same time, I feel like that's a tick too high. So let's go ahead and take those 13 points here for 2 units for our first bet here on Tuesday. All right, next up, we have one of my favorite bets of the day, and it's going to be coming in the game between Penn State and Rutgers. As you guys know, I'm a big fan of Penn State this season. Mike Rhodes has got these boys rolling, and I do think they have the best guard in the Big Ten with Ace Baldwin. And I know that's saying a lot, but Ace Baldwin has been a mainstay in college basketball for quite some time now, and he's absolutely earned that billing. But when you look at Rutgers and you look at their record of 5-4, this is absolutely a spot where they need to kind of live up to those expectations and play well here. And I do think they will, especially at the rack. So let's go ahead and take Rutgers on the money line for 4 units for our second play here on Tuesday. All right, next up, we are heading out to the smallest state in the United States. That's going to be Rhode Island. And in this matchup, we have the University of Rhode Island taking on Brown. And we've been backing both of these teams quite a bit this season already. We backed Rhode Island on Saturday in their upset win over Providence. And in this matchup, man, I really do like Brown to kind of knock them down that peg. Sometimes when you're feeling an emotional high, that's what kind of comes around the next corner. And Brown has the guard play to get it done in upset fashion, but we don't even need an outright upset. We're getting 5 points here, and I think Brown is going to be well in this game. They're going to be motivated. In-state battle, and I'm very excited to bet on this team. So let's go ahead and take the Brown Bears here, getting the 5 points for 3 units for our fourth bet here on Tuesday. All right, in this next matchup, we move from the smallest state in the United States to one of the biggest states, but in the same region, and that's going to be Albany, taking on Syracuse. And listen, Syracuse is obviously the high major program in this matchup. They've got a lot of billing. They've got a historic history behind them. And when you're looking at this matchup, I do feel like Syracuse is going to win the game, but 13 points is a lot for an Albany team that's actually looked pretty darn decent in their early going here. And for that reason, I say we take a stab with the little brother angle here and take those 13 points for 2 units for our fourth bet here on Tuesday. All right, next up, we are heading out to the Dakotas, and in this matchup, we have Wyoming taking on South Dakota. I know, this is a very Dakota-centric episode with North Dakota State, and now South Dakota in the mix. If we had South Dakota State on the board today, maybe I'd be betting on them too, but I am going to be definitely betting on the Coyotes here. I just feel like this is a really good team that I want to be backing the rest of the way. I think this is one of the best squads they've had in program history, or at least for a very long time, and I think they're going to show up here against the Mountain West team that obviously has a little bit more billing behind them. So let's go ahead and take South Dakota on the money line for 4 units for our 5th play here on Tuesday. All right, for our final play of the night, we are heading out to Champaign, Illinois, where we have Wisconsin taking on the Fighting Illini. And man, this is one of those games that in conference play, the line just feels telling. And I get it. Wisconsin's looked great. Illinois has actually had some stinkers in the early going. They lost in overtime against Northwestern and kind of choked that away late. But when you're looking at this matchup and you see a line of 7.5, I feel like it's very indicative because I think Illinois comes out and puts it on them by double digits here. Something around the lines of maybe 82 to 68. And that's exactly why we're going to go ahead and lay the 7.5 points for 4 units for our final bet here on Tuesday. All that being said, I really want to thank you guys for checking out today's video. And as I always say, if you are wanting to follow my bets on a nightly basis, make sure that you are following me over on Twitter/X at RobDFB. That's the best way to stay in touch with everything that I'm doing. And even tomorrow, we're going to have an Underdog Fantasy Pick'em entry as well. So make sure you're over there, make sure you're following, and make sure you're subscribed to this channel so you don't miss an upload. And as always, y'all, I will see you in a future video. Take it easy.